Good morning and welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer. This is A Country Life and we are going to do meals of the week without any meal plan. I am just digging around the freezers looking at what meat we have, what I have in the pantry, and we are just cooking on the fly. This is a beef brisket. It is almost 6.5 pounds and it's completely thawed finally. I'm going to leave this entire slab of fat on here. And I mixed up some spices here. I have about 1/3 cup of brown sugar in here, and then I put in some rosemary, some oregano, some parsley, then some chili powder, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. I have my oven preheated now to 200 degrees. I'm going to put this in and it's going to go all day. To be honest with you guys, I've never ever done this before, but I have done this method with both baby back like pork ribs as well as beef short ribs. This beef brisket I figured would work just the same. All right, I'm going to put the fat side up, transfer it over here, jam it into that, and that's how it looks. We'll cover that, put it in the oven. This is going to go in the oven for about 9 hours. I'm just looking for the meat to get extremely, extremely tender. So 200 degrees, 9 hours. Make sure that if you're going to do something like this, you do it on a day that you don't think you're going to be doing any other baking. I have a half a loaf of white bread. I have some dinner rolls, made cookies yesterday along with a cake that we have a little bit left. We cooked for a church group last night and there's a little left. General day in the life video here. And let me just give you guys a little bit of a laundry tip. I am starting a load of darks, excuse me, even though it's not a huge load, because I kind of look at my calendar and I'm like, you know what, I'm probably not going to do laundry tomorrow. And I'm not sure, I'm probably not going to do much laundry for Saturday, and I don't like to do laundry on Sunday if I don't have to. So I kind of look at it and I go, you know what, I should probably just do this load now so that it doesn't build up to next week Monday and then it's just enormous. So I have 2 loads I'm planning for today. A darks, because I just got everything sorted. Joe just brought it all out to me. Darks, and I'm also going to do a load of towels. And that is going to just kind of like keep us moving through so that I can wait all the way until Monday to do more laundry. I also have quite a bit of laundry to put away for Warren and I, so I'm going to get that done here as well. I've mentioned this before, but once you have your appliances working for you, you've got the washing machine, the oven, then it's a great time to go and do like outside work or different things like that. Today's video is brought to you by Bob and Brad. This is the second time that I have worked with this company. The first time was on a back massager, and this time we have the neck and shoulder massager. And let me show you what comes in the box. Very simply is the massager, a charging cord, and a user manual. This particular massager is cordless, and so it comes with a charging cord. This neck and shoulder massager is super easy to use. So you have a Type-C port, plug that in, charge it up. Power button gives you 2 options, a rhythmic mode as well as a constant speed mode. The intensity gives you 2 options, a low and high intensity, and the heating button gives you heat on or heat off. With the Bob and Brad Neck Pro Massager, you can experience targeted muscle relief. It's been engineered with an advanced 4D kneading technology to simulate the feel of professional hands. And it's designed to relieve pain, stiffness, and fatigue in the neck, the traps, and shoulders. It is a quiet massager. It's fairly lightweight. It is travel ready. It's ideal for use at home or in the office. It is a great go-to solution for deep tissue relaxation. Let me tell you how strong this is. If you're looking for a fluffy massage, this isn't it. This is a nice deep tissue massage. Bob and Brad's mission is to help 100 million people live pain-free.
They've been committed to that work, offering expert-crafted products designed by physical therapists with over 60 years of combined expertise. There is a suggested way to position this on your shoulders, but just playing around with this, I have found that bringing it up a little bit higher is very relaxing on the head muscles, as well as bringing it a little lower on the back. That feels just as good. So feel free to try it as intended, but also try it on some different muscles. I think you'd be surprised at how good it can feel on many muscles. Once fully charged, it offers between 90 and 190 minutes of runtime. If you're ready to get serious about your shoulder and neck massage, check the link in the description box below for the best price on the Bob and Brad iNeck Pro Neck and Shoulder Massager. Thanks to Bob and Brad for sponsoring today's video.
So we are going to go and fertilize the garden. All of my plant starts that I bought, they sat, where did my fertilizer go? Oh, I bet I put it on the shelf. They sat in their little starter pots for a month before we got them into the garden. I'm pretty sure they depleted everything that was in that little bit of soil, and our garden is not super rich in nutrients. And so, oh, it's a little bit chilly out here. So I bought some Miracle-Gro. Leave just about space for about a tablespoon of space. Maria's filling up some water jugs right now. I'm gonna go down to the ice house and grab the, Warren took a coffee can and put little holes in it so it kind of makes like a watering can, and that's just gonna work better so I don't end up pouring too hard and making a hole in the soil. All right, so let's go and get the UTV out. Get down there, grab that. Can I see in the dark without tripping on anything? I think Joe's gonna ride with me. Let me give you a tour of the very, very beginning stages of the garden. So we have corn in these 3 rows. I left 1 row open because in about, I think early next week, I'm going to plant another row of corn so that we get corn kind of coming, not all at once. I see I have some morning glories coming up there. I don't really want those coming up right now. Then over here we have some flowers planted. These are the sunflowers that Maria got for Easter. I kind of feel like maybe we should have planted these a little bit deeper because they're kind of tipping over. We have some dill. We have 3.
Sunflower's not looking good.
No, it's not very strong, but hopefully with some fertilizer and some sunshine, if we could ever get some, and some heat. And this is what I'm talking about. A lot of the plants, they just depleted everything that they had. So I have some cabbages here. And then I have broccoli. I think I have 8 broccoli here. And then over here we planted a just a short little row of carrots and a little row of radish tape, which it looks like they're already coming up. That's so exciting. You guys see that? Yes. Oh, a bunch of them. And then we have some cucumbers. So these are all pickling cucumbers. They are looking very, very sad right now. Yeah, they definitely need fertilizer. We have rabbits, and they are, of course, causing problems. So these are all picklers. Then over here we have slicing cucumbers. A lot of tomatoes. So I have some early girls. No, those are my early girls. right here. San Marzano, yes, yes. A lot of the San Marzanos. Then I have what was called a patio tomato. Right here, I have 2 of them. That was what they called it, just patio. Couple of those. Somewhere I have a something wine, an heirloom striped wine. No, brandy wine. I think it's an heirloom brandy wine. A friend gave me that one, but it ended up getting mixed up, so we'll be able to recognize it when the tomatoes start growing though. So lots of early girls here. I have some bell peppers over here, as well as down here we have jalapenos. A bunch of beans, 2 rows of beans. I think it was something like, I want to say something like 240 seeds or something we planted. And then we planted some yellow onions, some white onions over there. And then we have a squash that I just planted from seed, a butternut squash. And then some pumpkins. So we planted a few pumpkins over here, and I'm going to kind of gradually train them to just fall over into onto the weed guard here. And then we have a hill of pumpkins over there as well. Warren's getting soil, some better, just like black dirt. Everything we have is just sand, sand, sand. But anyway, and we're going to plant our bucket potatoes sometime in the next couple of days. So you pour it in here.
How much?
Just keep going till I tell you to stop. All right, that's good. Let's go to this one. Keep going. Uh-huh.
I feel like we're gonna crush the dough. Trade you. Put that one back.
Very good. And then just get another one ready. I was just coming out to get a package that was delivered here, so yeah, I ordered Warren some cologne. Actually, 2 different colognes because he was out and he likes cologne. So yeah, I guess he's kind of like me. I like to have a bunch of different perfumes and wear something different all the time. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys. I don't think I showed this particular pot of flowers here yet. I do try to come out and turn it just to make sure that it keeps growing, you know, uniformly around. Anyway, all petunias with the purple center, so pretty. And this is one of my favorite arrangements here. I don't know what color. I think these are dahlias. That's what these are. None of them have bloomed yet. I have buds, so I'm eager to see how those are going to turn out. But the cosmos, so pretty. Don't think I've ever planted cosmos just in a pot. I've always done them in the garden. So we'll see. Sometimes they can get like 3 feet tall. We'll see how this turns out. And then, you know, I realize I just showed this in my last video, you guys. It looks almost the same. All right, so the really pretty scarlet colored petunias. And then these pots here, these hanging baskets, I just doubled up those core mats. And then I put in 3 different flowers. So they're a little lower in the metal than I would like. But they'll eventually grow and kind of like start to grow out of the pot. And that's going to look so pretty. And over here, ooh, lighting. And over there is the other one. I really do look forward to when that vining, that green, like, I think that might be a Swedish ivy, when that starts to grow down and really starts to vine. That's going to look really, really pretty up here hanging on the front porch. This here is another flower that I don't remember what it's going to look like. I don't even know the name. So if you guys know the name of this one, I didn't save the little stick. It was just something so new. I'd never gotten anything like this before, so I look forward to this one too. I see there's a bud coming right there. I also see some like little red, are those mites? Those look like some sort of little mite on there. That's not good. And then there's another bud over there. So maybe it's gonna be some shade of red. Looking at the bud, we'll see. More laundry to put away. Thank you, Cambria, Amy, Carly, and Christine. Your cookbooks are on their way. Thank you guys so much for your orders. It's time to sit down and do some editing. As I mentioned in the videos that I've been filming like this week, it's Totus Tuus week. It is busy, busy, a lot of running. The brisket was in for 9 hours at 200 degrees. Then I took the cover off and I just left it in the oven. Actually, what I did is I just took the juices and poured it over and then put it back into the oven with the lid off. It was in for like another hour, just like that. I thought what would happen is this would get to the point where it was just easily shreddable, but maybe that's what happens when you smoke a brisket. Warren just cut it, and we're just gonna cut the fat off and eat it. He said it tastes good, and I'm just serving it up with some salad tonight. Just salad and brisket for supper tonight.